Wonderful to be here. Got to come from behind the curtain. Can't enter from in front of the curtain, apparently. Glad to take questions.
We'll start right here in the front row.
Hey, Coach, your team took a trip to Rome in April where they practiced, had many unique experiences mixed in. You said about the trip that it was the best thing you've been a part of on a football team, and that not all learning is done in the classroom and not all learning is done on the football field. Next season, after the season, you plan on taking a team trip to Paris, Normandy, and London. My question is, can you expound on why the Rome trip was valuable and why trips in the future will be valuable to your football team?
Yes, it's incredible to connect with somebody from a different country, to see something that you've never seen before, taste food that you've never tasted, or hear a language that you've never heard, and then experience it together as a team, like 8th grade classes that go to Washington, D.C. for a field trip, or a 12th grade class that goes to Rome. Much like that, to be able to experience as a group just makes it so much better, almost 900 times better, because you're getting not only your own experience, but the others in the group. And yeah, it's a chance to put the college back in college football. It's a chance to have the whole world be your classroom, and not all learning is done in a classroom or on a football field. It's out there living, out there seeing and doing. So I would recommend it, because it has been the best thing that I've ever done personally as a part of a football team. Thank you.
On the left in the front row.
Yeah, Tom Crawford, 92-1 Lansing. Jim, could you talk about Rashawn Gary? I can't recall any D lineman at Michigan having this much preseason hype since Lamar Woodley. Talk about how Rashawn has handled that, how high the ceiling is for this young man.
Thank you. Yes, very interesting to see how Rashawn has handled it. To me, I've really watched it. He was one of the top recruits, maybe the top recruit coming out of high school. He's had a lot of hype. He's had a lot of adulation, and there's some people that that's what they live for. They live for approval of others, and to be recognized as a hyped up player. And then there's other people that they see that hype or that adulation, and they go by it like it's a cone, an orange cone on the side of the road. There's some people that are just aspiring for greater things than just the adulation of somebody. And I think Rashawn is that type of guy. You really like him. He really doesn't care too much about that. He's gone by it like it's a cone, orange cone on the side of the road. And he just works. And I really think competing is his favorite thing to do. And he has the license and the ability to be great, be really good. I don't know what more to say about that.
Over here on the right, towards the back.
Jim Adam Biggers, FanRag Sports. How has Maurice Hurst handled the extra attention this year? He's always been kind of more of a quiet guy. How has he handled that extra attention?
Right under the light.
Oh, could you repeat that?
How has Maurice Hurst handled the extra attention this year, as far as, the national attention? He seems like he's been more of a quiet guy.
Yeah, Mo, I think Mo's handled it good. I think it's been overdue, and maybe Mo feels that way. But I think he's enjoying that. I think he's enjoying that. People are appreciating what he does as a football player and what he brings to the football team. Even on our own team, our appreciation for him has been probably the first, and I think he likes that. And I think that drives him to be even better. And I think he's got a chance to be really good. Again, he's got the license and the ability to be really great. and we appreciate the heck out of him, and I hope he does like that. I hope he keeps going, because he's got a chance to be really good.
Third row coach here on the right.
Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. Jim, I think you lost the most number of starters of any team in the country. How confident are you that you can flourish even without those guys? How good do you feel about what you have coming back?
Well, I feel good. Feel good about the team. You know, we'll start with our second newest guys, which is our freshmen that came at the mid-year. They 10 that really have flourished and did exceedingly good in spring practice, and which makes me think that the newest guys that arrived on campus, 19 true incoming freshmen, because the 10 did so well, I think these 19 are going to do just as well, because you know, they were the same type of good players in high school that the 10 were. And then the third newest are freshmen that are going to be sophomores this year. I'm very excited for them. I've already talked about Rashawn, but also Chris Evans in that group, Michael Wainu, Lavert Hill, Devin Bush Jr., Sean McKean, you know, some very, very talented players that played as true freshmen. Nate Shanley, all those youngsters in that class. Very excited about them, because everything that they're doing now, they've already done. They're doing for a second time, and the amount of growth that you can have from doing something for the first time and then doing it the next time or the second time can be the biggest leap they have their entire college career. So going from their freshman year to their sophomore year, very excited for that class. Also excited for the junior class. It's hard to believe now that you know, we first got hired at Michigan, I think December 30th, 2014, and that and signed a class a month later, that those guys are now juniors. But Tyrone Wheatley Jr., John Runyon Jr., Grant Perry, Reuben Jones, you know, guys in that class, Keith Washington. There weren't many of them. There was only like 10 or 11 of 12 in that class, but now those guys are juniors. And then the senior class and the fifth-year class, you know, very excited for them as well. They, you know, many of them like Chase and Mo Hurst and Wilton Spate and Mike McCray, Brian Monet, and Mason Cole. You know, those guys in particular that were in games last year. You know, they were there. You know, when we won 9 straight games, and you know, everybody's high-fiving in the locker room after the game, and they were also there when we lost 3 out of our last 4 games, 2 by 1 point, and another game by 3 points in overtime. They know what it feels like, and they like the feeling of the high-fiving better than the other, and I feel like, okay, you know, good. You know, they've seen that, and maybe that's going to motivate them even more this year. Give them more reason to put all their talent and pour their whole heart into everything that they're doing. So excited for all the guys on our team, really.
We'll stay on the right in the front row here, Coach.
Paul M. Banks, thesportsbank.net. Following up on the earlier question about the Rome trip, what were some of your favorite historical sites that you visited and cultural experiences that you had? And of what you learned over there visiting these sites, do you see a lot of stuff that can apply to football, and if so, how?
Yeah, I guess you know, we applied some things to football. That we had 3 really good practices over there. It was very interesting to watch our team, you know, do 6 hours of sightseeing one day, where we're walking through Old Rome, and then we're in the afternoon we're at the Coliseum and at the Forum, and you know, you're learning so many things along the way. Coliseum's been around for 600 years. It was active an active stadium for 600 years. You know, around here, 30 or 40 years for a stadium, and they tear it down. Amazing, really. And the Forum, just to see how much Washington, D.C., our own Washington, D.C. was designed around Rome, and even our political system, much patterned after Rome. But then to flip the switch and be back into football, and go out and practice and understand that it doesn't matter where we are, in Ann Arbor, we're in Rome, we're in some other place. That now it's time to do what we do in football. And to do it as a team, as I said, probably the best thing was doing it as a group. Because we pushed ourselves. We pushed ourselves to not take any breaks. To see as much as we could see, connect with as many people as we could possibly connect with, and that was. I could keep going. I could go on and on there, but it was outstanding.
We'll switch over to the left side on the third table.
Yeah, Tim May, Columbus Dispatch. Jim, how have you? What are your thoughts on the doing away totally with 2-a-day practices now in the preseason? And then number two, how have you guys adjusted to that? What'll be your approach, I guess?
Well, it just makes all the sense in the world. There's really nobody having 3-a-days anymore or 2-a-days anymore. Residents in hospitals don't do sleep deprivation anymore. Pilots, have to sleep 10 hours, I think, before each flight. I mean, it's just everybody's doing it that way. I mean, even the military doesn't have sleep deprivation and 3-a-days, et cetera. So, I'm all for it. And they get a day a week of rest. I think everybody deserves that, especially people that are playing a sport like football. Or training at a high-intensity type of sport. I think the body does need a day of rest and recovery. So easy to adjust to it. There's no 2-a-days anymore. 2-a-days are gone. There are no more 2-a-days. So just schedule all 1-a-days. But it's been rather simple. Even the other time demand rules, 21 extra days off for the football players within the semesters, already planned for them, easily implemented. Those are done. So schedule's made. We're starting next Monday. Will be our first day of practice, and very much looking forward to it.
We'll go to the far right. Coach, about halfway back.
Hey, Jim. Alex Kirshner with SB Nation. I don't know how often you came across P.J. Fleck when he was at Western Michigan, and you've been in Ann Arbor over the last few years. But did you form any impressions of the job that he did there, and do you have any impressions of what it'll be like to have him in the same conference as well as the same region now?
Yeah, I have had a chance to go to a couple clinics and watch CPJ clinic at those, and mainly just watched them win games. What a phenomenal job he did coaching there at Western Michigan, and now anticipating playing his Minnesota Gophers. So yeah, I think he's a fine coach and a great competitor.
We'll go to the last row on the left.
Jim, Jack Doles from Wood TV in Grand Rapids. How much has the way last year finished with those 3 losses driven this team in the offseason?
Yeah, I hope a lot. I know it has a lot of us, myself included. It's lost 3 out of the last 4 games. I mean, okay, good. Maybe that'll motivate us to put more into it. Coach better, play better, train harder, put more of our heart into each and every one of those ball games.
Jim.
Right in the front row.
Sorry, right here. Kevin Goheen with Land10.com. Where is your stance on Wilton Spate as we enter the season? You said early in the year that he is your guy, but there is a meritocracy. So.
Yes, so Wilton's in a good spot. He comes in really tied for first with John O'Corn and Brandon Peters, legitimately through competition throughout all the spring. It went through 15 practices and was a dead heat. But the good news is they all did some things to really. I mean, Brandon really shot up. John O'Corn really played consistently good, and Wilton really had some impressive moments as well. I mean, and we'll go through training camp starting on Monday. Just throw the balls out there and let the fellows compete. There's a lot that a quarterback can do over the summer to get better at playing quarterback. It's one of those positions like a kicker. A quarterback can just go out there and throw balls into a net. Can work on their drops. There's a lot of ways that they don't even need other players to be out there to improve some part of their skill game, much like a kicker. So you want to see what's transpired over the summer and see who's gotten better, and then who gives our team the best chance to move the ball, score touchdowns, and put points on the board, not turn the balls over. And probably take about anywhere from 8 to 15 practices to figure that out. Historically, that's what it usually takes. But we're looking forward to it. Both in a good spot. Yeah.
Stay over on the left there, on the far left.
Morning, Jim. Teddy Greenstein from the Chicago Tribune.
Far left.
Other way. There we go. How you doing?
Teddy, good. How you doing?
Good to see you. What kind of a boost does it give you guys in training camp to have such a tough game, Florida, week 1?
What is it, what?
What kind of a boost?
Oh, boost.
Mental boost does it give you guys?
That's probably a good factor. Probably a good factor in giving us motivation and to get ready because we know just how good they are. And college football's always been unique. It's the only sport that I can think of that doesn't have a preseason or an exhibition season. No spring training, no preseason games. So you go right into your first game, and that counts. That starts the season. So we're like the only. We're unique in a lot of ways, college football.
Our final question, Coach, will be from the far right over here.
Hey, Coach. Clay Hall, ABC 6, Fox 28, Columbus. Ohio State has said that they will draw maybe some motivation from being shut out in that playoff game against Clemson. Will you draw some motivation from the end of your season or even that not favorable outcome in the horseshoe?
Yes. We lost 3 out of our last 4 games. We just talked about it at length a couple minutes ago, but we will, yes.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The next